The only way by which you can avoid the waiting period in oil palm farming, I mean, when you want to become an oil palm farmer and you don't necessarily have to wait the 3 years or almost 5 years before you start harvesting, making money from your farm, is by renting or buying an existing plantation. But there are some certain things you need to know, you need to understand about the nitty-gritty of renting or buying an existing plantation so as not to end up with a very, very sad story. Uh, this is what we'll be discussing today on this channel. If you're watching me for the first time, this channel is dedicated to promote sustainable and profitable agriculture. And my name is Lawal Olushawala. I'm an agri consultant and farmer by training, by education, and by practice. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, kindly click on subscribe button to have access to more of my videos. So on today's episode, we'll be discussing everything you need to know about renting an existing plantation or acquiring an existing plantation. Now, renting or buying over an existing plantation is one of the ways by which you can save yourself the time you will be using to establish stress to establish and the waiting period in oil palm farming. You can buy this year and start making money from your farm this year. But if you don't look at some of the important aspects of what you want to buy, many people have bought plantation that has become non-productive. Many people have bought plantation and they've wasted money. So we'll be looking at things you should consider when buying or renting a plantation. The number one thing when buying an existing plantation you must confirm is the legal documents of the land. Remember, what you are buying or what you are going into is a long-term business. So you have to be very, very particular about the document about the land. Make sure it doesn't have, it's not a land that have court cases, or the person that is selling it to you is not the rightful person. Make sure you are sure of what you are dealing with. If the land has CFO, make sure you get the CFO. If it is not, make sure it has a registered office. Just make sure you are dealing with a registered land, a legit land. So that is number one. The number two thing you have to be very, very particular about is about the age of the trees on the plantation. This will be one of the things you will consider in evaluating or in making in arriving at the value of the plantation you want to buy, particularly if you want to buy. If you are not renting, if you are buying, is another ball game than if you are renting. You know, if you rent it for a year and maybe the oil you get from the plantation is not something to write home about, you can decide not to rent it the following year. But if you are buying, you have to be very, very particular, do your background check and everything. Now, one of the most important background check you must check is the age of the trees. I would not advise anybody to buy a plantation with tree of over 25 or over 30 years. If you are buying that kind of plantation, it should come at a ridiculous price, because what we usually advise commercial plantation to do is to fall the tree and replant their home. So if you are not buying it as a giveaway price, you will not be getting something tangible from those trees because they are already aged. So you have to be very, very conversant with the age. The maximum age I will advise everybody to buy is 15 to 20 years. Any plantation that is older than that, you must be buying at a very, very low price. So the another thing you should also be very, very particular about is the accessibility of the land. The accessibility of the plantation you want to buy. Is it that accessible during uh, rainy season or during the dry season, when you want to take in input or when you want to bring out product? Is it accessible? Do you need uh won't you be going through the headache of constructing a bridge for you to have access to your farm, or whenever it rains you will not be able to access your farm? These are the things you have to pay adequate attention to. So it's very, very important, the accessibility of your land, of your farm. Another thing is that look at the soil condition. Maybe the land or the plantation is established well. Is it established in a waterlogged environment? If it is so, just have it at the back of your mind. The plantation will not be producing optimally. So that's another thing. And another thing is, which is very, very important, especially when you are buying. When you are buying, you should also pay attention to the type of the palms on that farm. You must make sure it is tenera. If it is not tenera, if it is a traditional palm, then you put in that into consideration of how you negotiate the price you will be buying. It will be lower than if you are buying an established tenera plantation. And lastly but not the least is the security of the farm. And this is particularly for people who wants to rent an existing oil palm plantation. You don't want to rent a plantation whereby 50% of the or of your harvest will be done by thieves, or 50% of whatever you are meant to be getting from the farm. So people will be already be there helping you to harvest already. Maybe that's the reason why the person, the initial owner of the farm, wanted to sell it. You have to take your time, do a visibility study around the situation, security situation, know about the security situation around the farm, so as for you to reach a tangible conclusion. Maybe you are going forward or not, because it is very important. Anything you are putting on that farm, maybe the fruiting or your product or your machinery, if the security is not okay, you might be going into a journey that will not be palatable. Lastly but not the least, another thing you should consider is these are the accessories that usually comes with farms. Does the farm have a farmhouse? Does it have an existing processing plant? These are the things you consider to do the valuation of the farm. So whenever you are thinking of buying or renting an existing plantation, these are the things you must bear at the back of your mind. You don't just go into negotiation and make payment. So you have to check the security, check the accessibility, check the age of the plant, of the palms, and check the infrastructure that are available on the farm for you, so as not to end up with a very, very sad story. I wish you all the best. I know many people wanted to start their plantation this year. I wish you all the best, and I want to hear and be part of your success story. With this, I've come to the end of today's video, and I hope you've gotten value one way or the other from this topic. Kindly click on subscribe button to have access to more of my videos, and always share to your friends. Thank you for your time, and see you on the next one. Sheshe.